Fani Willis, like, David, I've been following bits and pieces. I saw her with her lover where they're asking, like, did you ever hook up here? And, like, he looks up for, like, a good 3 minutes. 18 seconds. He goes, no, we know what's happening. We know it's bullshit. Please give us an update of what's happening.
It is the most glorious judicial saga that we've had, that we've been gifted since Jussie Smollett, since Michael Flynn's judicial saga. There are a few other ones in there that you follow them because they have chapters.
Yeah.
Fani Willis, Nathan Wade have been prosecuting the RICO case against Trump and 17 other defendants.
It's a RICO? It's a RICO?
It's a straight-up RICO case. The irony is the only people guilty of RICO in this are Fani Willis and Nathan Wade.
That's so funny.
So they've charged 18 people up in Georgia.
Okay.
In the context of that, they charged one too many people. Michael Roman is one of the defendants, whose lawyer is Ashley Merchant. Gets wise to a relationship between Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, the special prosecutor hired as external counsel to prosecute the RICO case. Because it's so complicated, Fani Willis needed to hire external counsel to prosecute this case. Yeah. I don't know how Ashley finds out about this, Ashley Merchant being the lawyer. There's an affair between Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. They go into that divorce file, and then they start finding out that Nathan Wade has been taking Fani Willis on cruises, these lavish trips that they've been hooking up for years, that they were hooking up before she gave him the contract to come in and prosecute this Trump case, that she didn't run that by anybody when looking for funds to prosecute this case. So what started as RICO prosecution against Trump AL quickly flipped to Fani Willis is conflicted out of this case. She's breached ethics and the law, arguably, in hiring her boyfriend, taking state and federal funds to pay her boyfriend upwards of $1 million over 2 years. And they Ashley Merchant made a motion to disqualify. It's the most glorious legal thing you've ever seen in your life. Yeah. Motion to disqualify says Fani Willis and Nathan Wade are conflicted. Disqualify them and discharge or get rid of the indictment.
The indictment has to go because it's compromised.
It's compromised. I mean, the whole thing is compromised. Whether or not they dismiss the charges, they could disqualify Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, appoint a district attorney from another county, and they'll decide whether or not they want to take up this case. The trial was broadcast. And when you watch this trial, understand why courts and a corrupt system doesn't want transparency.
Yes.
Had people not watched this, or had people like myself, Robert Gouveia, Good Logic, these are online lawyers or lawyers who have channels covering it in real time, nobody would believe the fiasco, the debacle, the corruption. It's incompetence, it's corruption. Fani Willis gets on the stand. This is the DA. Basically, I mean, the demeanor is one that is
attitude
noxious.
Oh, disgusting.
She took to a church after these allegations came out to literally abuse of the name of God in front of the pulpit, in front of a church, to say they're only coming after Nathan Wade because he's black.
I saw that.
It's
racism.
Horrendous.
Always go to the race card.
Doesn't mention that she's having an illicit affair with him. It comes out. Doesn't mention that she took upwards of $20,000 in gifts of vacations from this guy while she's paying him. And then her excuse in front of the judge is, I paid him back in cash.
You have that? Yeah. How much cash do you have just sitting around?
She didn't know where it came from. She just had it. It's in the house.
Wow,
Her father brought her up to have 6 months of cash in the house. So the hearing has been an outright debacle. It's been one scandal after another being revealed. She intimidated the wife of her boyfriend when, in the context of their divorce, says, "You getting involved in this case." Is interfering with a criminal prosecution and basically intimating to Jocelyn Wade that she was interfering with an ongoing prosecution.
What the hell?
This is the DA.
Oh, my God.
So they had a 2-day hearing. Oh, the most glorious part, there's this guy named Terrence Bradley who was partner of Nathan Wade and the former family lawyer of Nathan Wade, allegedly. Basically says he was feeding all of the information to Ashley Merchant. Confirming all of the details of the motion to disqualify, gets on the stand, can't remember anything. Turns out he allegedly...
Joe Biden?
No, it was a selective amnesia because it turns out that he might have been having lunch with Nathan Wade 5 weeks before the trial, and they might have been saying, "Remember your ethics," which came out on the stand. Remember that story of sexual assault at our law firm that might come out, and then they blew this guy up on the stand because Terrence Bradley came on and said, "I don't remember any of this. I can't answer these questions. It's solicitor-client privilege." Part of that was overturned. And then they blew him up on the stand. Anna Cross, the lawyer for the state, said, didn't you get kicked out of Nathan Wade's law firm because of sexual assault? And then it was like, oh my God. Oh my goodness. So anyways, that's the judicial saga. Where it's at now is the judge has taken it in deliberation to determine whether or not to disqualify Fani.
how long do you have to deliberate something where it's just in your face? Like how entrenched? Like is this judge? Where is he voting?
The judge was. I don't know if he's a Democrat, but he was appointed by Governor Kemp, so he was appointed by a Republican, or a Georgia Republican. He's a white male. He's up for election for a 4-year term starting in May.
Okay.
And so when he said, I'll issue my judgment in a couple of weeks, well, there was a cutoff for anyone to compete against him in the election that expired in that time. And so the question was whether or not he's going to wait to see if anybody challenges him for the next election cycle, which someone just did. A Jesse Jackson disciple, activist, attorney. Man. And so bottom line now is, my argument is he's going to disqualify them because they just eliminated any negotiating. Like basically if they're going to elect based on politics and race, this guy's getting booted in any event. And then the breaking news of the day today is this judge, Scott McAfee, just dismissed 6 of the charges in the indictment, arguing that they didn't allege a sufficient factual basis or an underlying crime of those charges. So there's some charges in the indictment that survive, but some have gotten dismissed.
How many are remaining?
I would say 6 or 7. It's like there were 13, 14 charges. 6 have gotten dismissed. But it goes to show you, he's not totally compromised for those who said he was. Yeah. This is an indication, in my view, that he is going to disqualify Fani because he's rendering, unpopular judgments. But it also, I'm trying to pull up my tweet from the time because I said this indictment was a steaming load of judicial dog poop. I think I actually called it that at the time. So
is this it? Is this your?
This is up here. What do we got? This is. Oh my goodness!
Oh, I love it,
Kelly. Thank you for reminding me. Yes. Can we play the video?
Oh yeah.
Speaking of the corruption.
Yeah. This is, and then we can, Dave, you want to go in the middle or you can play the whole thing?
Yeah, play from the middle,
Yeah, we'll go right in the middle, my love.
This is what
are we seeing?
The lawyer for Trump asking Fani if she's ever gone to D.C. with Willis.
Okay.
Because there's alleged collusion with the Biden administration.
Because I've had a lot of personal friends in that area. But I know that I have been to D.C. I did an interview at Howard University.
Interview with Howard
University? I went to D.C. for that.
I went there once.
Seems like I've been to D.C. one other time. Oh, I went to D.C. for the Global Summit.
Oh, Global Summit.
Actually, yeah, those were 2 separate trips.
Okay. Now listen to this. Oh, so you've been to D.C.
My next question is based on her opening the door, and therefore I'll just ask it, and Your Honor can decide whether or not it's appropriate. When you went to D.C., did you go to the White House?
I did not go to the White House.
Did you go to the White House? I did not go to the White House. Attitude, defensiveness.
There you have it.
And then some receipts.
When you went to D.C., did you go to the White House?
I did not go to the White House.
This is a booking log
Apparently I'm going to get
with the White House.
Oh, shit.
That
Fani
shows,
Willis.
Okay.
Now, so Ashley Merchant also just sat for a state investigation hearing. I don't know what day it is this week. It was last week.
Gotcha.
And she basically testified, Fani Willis, here's a receipt. She logged into the White House book.
What a dumbass.
As a guest. Now, the steelman argument is that was at the vice president's residence. That was at Kamala Harris's residence for a party on the lawn. I'm like, A, you said you've been there twice. And you sort of forgot that one. And B, there is evidence in the file that Nathan Wade was colluding with the Biden administration because he billed for meetings at the White House. And so you have Fani Willis under oath saying, I've only been to D.C. twice, and no, I didn't go to the White House. I went to the vice president's residence, which you didn't even say. It's corruption to the core, but this is election interference. Like 100%. This is legit RICO criminality, election interference.
And it boggles my mind. I mean, I'm not that boggled anymore, but it's just how many more of these, like for instance, we all know, we have common sense, like the thing with the guy that shot himself in his car. We know what's happening. We know who Fani Willis is. We know what Letitia James, what they're all about. It's 1,000% election interference, and it's always the ones. What's that saying? The ones that cast the stones shouldn't live in a glass. Or it's always the people that are like, "Hey, look what they're doing," and you're the one that's doing the actual act.
They accuse their adversaries of doing what they're doing so as to create confusion. It's a Nazi propaganda.
100%. So, and Dave, my question is, like, with all this that's happening, with like, it's obvious. The playbook is, guys, he's growing in popularity. January 6th, we have to do that. Let's get as much of that in there. Okay, New York, all the $18 million property.
It's Soros-funded corruption. Letitia James out of New York, Alvin Bragg out of New York. There was not Kim Fall, that was a different situation, but the Colorado court ruling, people forget who appointed that judge. It's Soros-funded corruption.
This guy, dude.
So that the media can just run with their headlines. He's been indicted 91 times.
That's what
Do you really want that guy as president?
Yeah.
All these charges should be dismissed, and the people who instigated them should be charged with something. But it's corruption to the core.
What do you think, Ian?
Well, would you be satisfied if they dropped all these charges and then we didn't punish the people that were these other people that we're going after?
Personally, no. I believe the people involved need to be punished. Leticia James needs to be disbarred. Judge Engeron, or she needs to be impeached. Engeron, that New York nipple judge, speaking of showing your torso to people, he needs to be impeached. And disbarred. They need to suffer political consequences.
I talk a lot about like mass pardons because I'm like, okay, if we really need a way forward, what if we just pardoned everybody? All of them, all the January 6th, Biden's, Clinton's, Trump's, everybody, all blanket, just get it over with. We're moving forward. You're kind of like John Hancock.
But you're pardoning people who literally want you either in jail or dead.
Yes, you would pardon the enemy of this communicate, whatever you think of these people as. You would be pardoning. It's like a hostage swap, basically. Yeah.
Well,
not ideal.
Gerald Ford, he pardoned Nixon because he wanted to heal the nation. It was time to move on as a country from what was. They weren't enemies, but the whole idea behind it was it's time to move forward and let's not look behind. I kind of like. Are you saying you would like that?
I would like that.
But do you think?
I kind of agree. I would just like to, because I'm done. They've worn me out. I don't believe Trump is as evil as they say he is. Yeah. I believe that there is mass corruption on the other side. At this point, I just want it done and to move on. So if that means these people lose their reputations, their jobs, I don't care if they go to prison or not. I believe that people on January 6th, I don't believe they were violent and trying to overtake the government. I would, to be completely honest, if I was there and I saw people going in, I would have been, oh, okay.
We're going.
Like, I'd be in there taking selfies like an idiot, posting them on Facebook because I'm just a dumb person. I don't think that those people had malicious intent to overthrow the government, kill Nancy Pelosi. I also think that the people on this side are corrupt and evil on the left, and there's no solving that. So let's just get them all out and start over. Reset.
Do you think we'll reset and it will turn a corner and it won't happen again? Because last time during the election, you remember Russia collusion, where they paid for documents and said Donald Trump was literally like that. What he could. I mean, he could be murdered for that. I mean, based off what it is, right? Because it's treason. It's treasonous to go for another country for an adversary like that, and it was paid for by the Clintons. Nothing happened for it. And they were saying, he is treasonous. He's going for another country. So if we just let them go, are we going to turn the corner and all hold hands?
I think there's a bigger enemy than ourselves in this country. And I think we're too caught in this, what's going on, to actually focus on the actual cause of the problem, which is George Soros funding district attorneys in these liberal cities that remove any type of penalties for crime.
So can you separate it, though? Because they're in the country, though. Although he's affecting it, they're people within our own.
I'm just tired of hearing that name and nobody does anything about that guy. We talked about this earlier. I'm not going to get into how deep we got, but I'm like, it boggles my mind how only one side, and mind you, I'm not a side guy. I'm not left. I'm not right. I believe in us against them, the they that Biden and all these losers keep referring to. You notice how it's only one side that gets in the face and does anything like of any aggression. I'm tired of hearing George Soros and this guy, and even Elon Musk said he hates humanity. Why doesn't anybody go after this guy? I mean, they talk this name. I hear George Soros. Why don't you guys do something about it?
And just to save your butt, you mean go after them politically or legally?
Politically, yeah. No, I'm not saying go after them, but mind you, his son's taking the mantle as well.
Good job.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And by the way, like it's the joke of the Leticia James, New York, the alleged fraudulent overrepresentation of value of assets. Yeah. Leticia threw the book at Trump in a victimless, I'm not even going to use the word crime, fabrication. She gets a corrupt Judge Engeron who then goes with it. There was a woman who did a breakdown on Leticia James spending campaign finances. Her name is Mel Crazy Village Lady or Village Crazy Lady on Twitter. Leticia James has been using her election campaign finances as a slush fund. I'm sure as sugar you could go do a forensic audit on that and put her in jail using the same criteria that she's going after Trump for. Yeah, except it would probably be justified for her.
Yeah, you probably would. And it's just, and again, and going back like to the Soros thing, we know that he's paying to fund these people. People just keep saying Soros, and his son Alex, who's dating Uma Abedin. The Clintons.
Oh my goodness!
Oh yeah, what a great
ex-Wiener.
Anthony Weiner's
ex-Wiener. By the way, she sure knows how to pick him, huh? Wow. She went from pedophile mayor to
an alleged lesbian lover with Hillary Clinton.
Weird. Rumors on Reddit said that. Hillary has whips and chains.